Hello, it's time for a book with Grandma. So I thought I would read It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, because it's October and there's lots of pumpkins in the pumpkin patch and everyone's beginning to decorate for Halloween. And of course, there's lots of birthdays that are happening in October. So let's read this story and see what Charlie Brown gets into. Every fall, the leaves on the trees turn brown and fall off the branches. Pumpkins grow big and plump in their patches. The air grows cooler, and people start to think about their Halloween costumes. And every fall, Linus writes a very important letter. So here you could see Charlie Brown and Linus, and Charlie Brown is watching Linus. Looks like he's going to be writing a letter. So let's see who he's writing to. Dear Great Pumpkin, Linus writes, I'm looking forward to your arrival on Halloween night. I hope you will bring me lots of presents. Who are you writing to? Asks Charlie Brown. The Great Pumpkin, Linus replies. On Halloween night, the Great Pumpkin rises out of his pumpkin patch and flies through the air with his bag of toys for all children. Linus's sister Lucy isn't happy that Linus is writing to the Great Pumpkin. You'll make me the laughing stock of the neighborhood, she complains. But Charlie Brown's sister Sally doesn't think Linus is crazy. She thinks Linus is wonderful. He is her sweet baboo. Wouldn't you like to sit with me in the pumpkin patch on Halloween night and wait for the Great Pumpkin? Linus asks. Sally is thrilled. I'd love to, she tells Linus. So here is Lucy. This is Linus's sister Lucy, and she's not happy about him writing a letter. And then this is Charlie Brown's sister Sally, and it looks like she really likes Linus and wants to hang out with him. Later that day, Charlie Brown has a surprise waiting for him in the mailbox. I got an invitation to a Halloween party, he exclaims. Lucy thinks the invitation must be a mistake. There were 2 lists, she tells Charlie Brown, one to invite and one not to invite. Charlie Brown knows which list he was probably on, but he decides to go to the party anyway. On Halloween night, everyone is planning to go to the party, except Linus. My blockhead brother will be out in the pumpkin patch making his yearly fool of himself, Lucy grumbles. She can't understand why Linus would choose to miss out on all the fun that Halloween has to offer by sitting around in a pumpkin patch. So here's Charlie Brown, really happy about getting an invitation to a Halloween party. And here you could see a few people that are in their costumes. It looks like Lucy is being a witch. And then everybody else looks like they're going to be ghosts for Halloween. I was right. So we've got 2 witches and 4 ghosts. Oh, and then we'll be reading about Snoopy is on this page too. Everyone puts on their costumes. Lucy is dressed as a witch. Charlie Brown is dressed as a ghost, but no one can tell what he is supposed to be because he had some trouble with the scissors. He has a lot of holes in his little ghost costume. Sally is also dressed as a ghost, and so is Schroeder. They figured out how to use the scissors just fine. Pigpen is dressed as a ghost too. Everyone can tell which ghost he is because a cloud of dust surrounds him. So here you could see we have 2 witches. This is Charlie Brown because he used his scissors but cut too many holes. And this is Pigpen because he has a lot of dust that always follows him. Snoopy walks by, also dressed in a costume. Who in the world is that? Asked Lucy. He's a World War I flying ace, Charlie Brown explains. Now I've seen everything, Lucy says. And there's Snoopy dressed to fly a plane. Lucy declares that everyone will go trick-or-treating first and then go to the Halloween party. As they pass by the pumpkin patch, Linus sees them and gets excited, thinking they have come to wait with him. Have you come to sing pumpkin carols with me? He asks. You blockhead, Lucy yells at her brother. You are going to miss all the fun, just like last year. Don't talk like that, Linus cries. The great pumpkin will come because I am in the most sincere pumpkin patch. Oh, good grief, Lucy exclaims. She marches off with her friends. It looks like no one wants to join Linus in the pumpkin patch to wait for the great pumpkin. Except, what about Sally? And here you could see them in the pumpkin patch, and Linus was happy, hoping they were going to stay. Sally is torn. She doesn't want to miss out on all the fun of trick-or-treating and a party, but Linus is her sweet baboo. What should she do? Sally runs back to the pumpkin patch because she loves Linus. He makes her happy, so she headed back. I'm glad you came back, Linus tells her. You'll see the great pumpkin with your own eyes. Linus is positive the great pumpkin will pick this patch. Why wouldn't he? The great pumpkin chooses the most sincere patch to visit every year, and how could a pumpkin patch be more sincere than this one? Sally hopes Linus is right. And here he is telling Sally why he thinks that this pumpkin patch is going to be chosen. Meanwhile, the rest of the kids go trick-or-treating. Tricks or treats, money or eats, they yell at the first door. Everyone compares what they got. I got 5 pieces of candy, brags Lucy. I got a chocolate bar, exclaims Patty. I got a quarter, says Violet happily. I got a rock, says Charlie Brown sadly. And that happens at every door. All the other kids get wonderful treats, just like candy, gum, and popcorn balls, and Charlie Brown gets rocks. That would make me sad too. Lucy decides they have done enough trick-or-treating and it's time to go to the party. After all, everyone has a bag filled to the brim with treats. Everyone except Charlie Brown. He has a bag full of rocks. On their way to the party, they pass by the pumpkin patch again. The kids laugh at Linus and Sally for waiting there instead of coming to the party. The great pumpkin will be here, Sally yells, defending Linus. After the kids walk by, Sally turns to Linus. All right, where is he? She asked. He'll be here, Linus assures her. I hope so, Sally replies. Think of all the fun we're missing. Gizmo, you gotta get out of the camera. Okay, so you could see that their bags are full. They're ready to go have a party. And Sally is now asking Linus, where is the great pumpkin? And the Halloween party is a lot of fun for everyone except Charlie Brown. At first, Charlie Brown thinks his night is looking up when the other kids ask him to be the model for the jack-o'-lantern. That sounds like a great honor. But then he realizes that being the model means having Violet draw a big pumpkin face on the back of his head. Aww. So now his head looks just like a jack-o'-lantern on a pumpkin. Meanwhile, in the pumpkin patch, Sally is growing tired of waiting for the great pumpkin. If anyone had told me I'd be waiting in a pumpkin patch on Halloween night, I'd have said they were crazy, she complains. Just then, she and Linus hear a rumbling noise. They see a shadow emerging from the pumpkin patch. It's the great pumpkin rising up out of the pumpkin patch, Linus yells. He is so excited to see the great pumpkin that he faints. And there's the shadow of the great pumpkin that's coming. But it isn't the great pumpkin after all. It is just the World War I flying ace on his way back from a very important mission. So we know that means that was actually Snoopy, not the great pumpkin like all the kids were hoping for. Linus wakes up and asks Sally, what happened? I was robbed, howls Sally. Halloween is over and I missed it. She stomps out of the pumpkin patch, leaving Linus all alone to wait for the great pumpkin. Linus falls asleep waiting, and later that night, Lucy comes to bring him home and tuck him into his warm bed. And here you could see Sally and Linus, and Sally is not very happy. She's crying because she missed Halloween waiting for the great pumpkin, and he didn't show up. The next day, Charlie Brown tries to make Linus feel better. Don't take it too hard that the great pumpkin never showed up, he tells his friend. But Linus doesn't feel let down. Just wait until next year, he tells Charlie Brown. I'll find the most sincere pumpkin patch, and I'll sit in that pumpkin patch until the great pumpkin appears. So he has a great attitude and is hopeful for next year. And that is it. The end. I love you all.